Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, we will be talking about Thiago Alcantara and what are his possibilities of joining Barcelona. Then we will be moving on to Lautaro Martinez and Memphis Depay. Then we will be moving on to Eric Garcia. And then lastly, we will be talking about the Barcelona training session that did take place a couple of hours ago. And so we do have a lot to discuss. And we are first going to start with Thiago Alcantara. And it says here, according to Moises Llorens, Barcelona have rolled out making a move for Bayern Munich midfielder Thiago Alcantara this summer. And so everything is starting to indicate that Barcelona will be going for Wijnaldum. Like in my previous video, I did talk about how there is a debate going on whether Barcelona should get Thiago Alcantara or Wijnaldum. It is clear that there is popularity for Thiago Alcantara to join Barcelona, but right now Barcelona, the club, are favoring on bringing in Wijnaldum in. And we also have Christian Falk, who did state that Thiago will not be in Munich for the corona test that did take place today, nor will he appear for training. Bayern Munich have also given him a few days off. And so I assume that Thiago Alcantara does want to sort out his future on what he does want to do going forward. I think that it's also safe to say that Thiago does want to move elsewhere. The team that's most likely to get him is Liverpool. The problem that Liverpool does have right now is that they do need to find how they're going to pay 30 million euros for Thiago. Because right now Liverpool is not that team where they do want to invest a lot of money on a player, especially with this Liverpool right now. In the past 12 months, they haven't really been spending a lot on any players. The last time they did spend 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 million euros on players was on players like Alisson, Keita, and Fabinho. But right now, they're not in that stage, nor is it in their best interest. But I think that in the end, Thiago will be going to Liverpool. I think that Thiago does want to go to that club, and Liverpool will find a way, which means that if we are going to get Wijnaldum, if Wijnaldum will be our next signing. Now the question is going to be, okay, so what if Wijnaldum does join Barcelona? How is he going to be used? And I think that it is clear that Koeman is the one pulling the strings to bring Wijnaldum to this club. There are members within this board that do favor bringing in Thiago, but right now Koeman is that coach that does have the authority. He does want to make the signings. If not, he does want to play a huge part on who they're going for this summer. And so Koeman does want to bring in Wijnaldum. And I do understand why he does want to bring the Dutchman. That is because he has used him before in the Netherlands. Koeman has coached Wijnaldum many times throughout the whole year of 2019. And so bringing him in is going to be nothing different. There is some slight favoritism, and that's fine, right? If you know how to use a certain player, then that's only going to give us confidence and know that this coach knows what he's doing. And I think that if we do see Wijnaldum play with Netherlands throughout the whole year of 2019 under Koeman, that's going to give us a great hint on how he's going to implement Wijnaldum in Barcelona. And Koeman could be also trying to implement a double pivot within this Barcelona squad, and that has received a lot of controversy. Yes, because of the double pivot, but also because of Wijnaldum coming to Barcelona. There has been many statements out there saying that this is not going to be ideal. They believe that Wijnaldum does not have the right amount of creativity. But the one thing that we have to take note is this, right? We have to really pay attention that both of these players, assuming that Wijnaldum and De Jong do play that double pivot role in Barcelona, both of these players are not reserved by no means. These are two midfielders that do like to move forward. These are two midfielders that do like to move forward and look for those spaces and attack immediately. They do want to push up and attack at all cost. And I think that that is what makes it very interesting. And I believe that it is something that will be welcomed in the Camp Nou. And I'm saying this because throughout the past 4 to 5 years, it has been known that Barcelona is a team that does have midfielders who do implement a lot of side passes. They are a team that's very reserved. They don't like to go forward as much. They like to be very careful on how they do go forward, and so they play it safe. And in result, we don't really go anywhere with it. And so seeing how De Jong likes to move forward and Wijnaldum likes to move forward aggressively, that could greatly help Barcelona when it does come to the attack. Now, when we do have two midfielders like this within this double pivot role, they are heavily reliant on the wingers, which means that Ansu Fati, Dembele, and Trincao will be playing a huge role on how De Jong and Wijnaldum do function in that double pivot. And so I am super excited to see what Koeman does have under his sleeve. If he does bring this player in, I'm not against this move. I do think that Wijnaldum is a great world-class player. He is 29 years old, but he does have a lot to give. And if our bid is going to be 18 million euros and it does get accepted, because knowing that Liverpool do need funds to bring in Thiago Alcantara, I think that it's going to be well worth it. 18 million euros is not the most expensive price tag in the world. So I would say that Barcelona should go for it. They should try and bring in Wijnaldum and see what Koeman can do with this player. Moving on to the next topic of the day, and we're going to be talking about Lautaro Martinez and Memphis Depay. Depay. And so yes, this is a striker situation that Barcelona do need to sort out. There is a decision whether they do want to go for either Lautaro Martinez or Memphis Depay. It has been reported that Barcelona will be bidding 65 million euros for Lautaro Martinez. But on the other side, for Inter Milan, it has also been said that Inter Milan do not want to make it easy and let go of Lautaro Martinez to Barcelona. And it says here, according to Di Marzio and Sky Sports, Barcelona reactivated the Lautaro Martinez operation in recent days, but the operation is totally blocked, especially in the view of the rules imposed by La Liga. His agents will arrive in Milan to discuss about a potential renewal. So not only does Inter Milan not want to sell Lautaro Martinez, but they are looking to renew his contract with Inter Milan. And so it's going to be extremely tough for Barcelona to try and complete this. And I know that Barcelona do see this. They are prepared for their bid to be rejected, which is why their only solution and their only alternative that they do see from this will be Memphis Depay. And it says here, according to Di Marzio, Barcelona are insisting on Memphis Depay due to the difficulties of getting Lautaro Martinez. They are trying to convince Lyon with the inclusion of Samuel Umtiti in the operation. Valuation including a counterpart like Umtiti would be around 20 million euros to 25 million euros. And so what a move would this be? Just imagine if Barcelona can successfully implement Umtiti within this operation. Because let me paint you a picture of what the worst case scenario could be like, assuming if Umtiti does enter this operation. If Depay ends up being worth 30 million euros according to Lyon, and we do only sell Samuel Umtiti for 10 million euros, we will still only pay 20 million euros for Memphis Depay, which is absolutely nothing, and that is worst case scenario. And so I think that in the end, we will be paying around 15 to 20 million euros for Memphis Depay. Now, it will be difficult to implement Umtiti in this operation because Umtiti does have high wages. He does get paid around 12 to 15 million euros every year, and I do not think that it will be in Lyon's interest to try and take on those wages, but anything is possible. Barcelona will be fighting to get rid of Umtiti and bring in Memphis Depay and potentially lower his price tag. Now, I do have a feeling that Koeman is suggesting on bringing Memphis Depay. This is another player that Koeman has coached before with the Netherlands. And here's the thing, right? I know that right now, Barcelona don't have an idea on how they're going to use Memphis Depay, meaning I don't think that they do have a set role for this player. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Memphis Depay can either be used or seen as the next number 9 to replace Luis Suarez, or he could be used to play that role of Martin Braithwaite, a player who can come in, take the striker position or take the left wing position or take the attacking midfield position. And that is the big question, right? Is that what is Barcelona's intentions when it does come to Memphis Depay? And I do assume that the club are assessing this whole situation because right now Barcelona did offer a pro contract to Ansu Fati, and his deal will be extending all the way until 2024 with a release clause of 400 million euros. And I do assume that the club do value Ansu Fati and they do want to keep Ansu Fati at whatever cost. And the reason why I did bring that up is because there has been many people who have questioned me and said, but Kevin, if we do bring Memphis Depay, isn't he going to take the time away from Ansu Fati? Because Memphis Depay does also play left wing. Could Barcelona finally put themselves in a situation where they are going to be very saturated up top, where many players might not get a lot of minutes? Some players might have their development hindered only because they do want to bring in a player like Memphis Depay, who can't play in all other areas. And I get why that could be a problem. I get why we should be concerned, but I do want to pull up a report that I think will greatly help and assess this potential problem that Barcelona might have in the next season. And it says here, according to Cadena Ser, La Liga has confirmed new rules for the coming season. There can be 5 substitutions in a match with 23 players in the squad. And I think that that is key, right? I think that the 5 substitution rule is greatly going to help in terms of rotation and in terms of having all of these players get their chances to play on the field. So it is not as bad as it seems. I do think that if we bring Depay in, we can still use Ansu Fati and give him the minutes that he does need in order for him to develop. Everyone will get a chance to play. I think that with Memphis Depay, Messi, Trincao, Griezmann, Ansu Fati, Dembele, they would all get their chances to play. And I also do think that Barcelona do want to put themselves in that position. They want to have this problem. They want to have alternatives and options throughout the whole next season. I do believe that they have learned on what did happen in the last season when we did only have Griezmann and Ansu Fati, and I'm sure they don't want to be in that position again. And so I do welcome this. I do welcome Memphis Depay in Barcelona if he's used correctly. Moving on to the next topic of the day, and we're going to be talking about Eric Garcia. There has been reports stating that Barcelona will be moving to try and get Eric Garcia in this week. And it says here, according to Cat Radio, Oscar Grau has already contacted City to make a first offer of 10 million euros for Eric Garcia. Man City rejected the offer and would only want 15 to 18 million euros for Eric Garcia. And it's absolutely crazy to hear that, right? To hear that Man City is only asking for 15 to 18 million euros, because not too long ago, City were asking for 30 million euros. I honestly cannot tell you why City did lower their price. I assume that they were listening to Eric Garcia, that he does not want to renew with Man City, which means that they do have to soften their stance. And I think that if Barcelona only have to pay within a difference of 5 to 8 million euros, I think that everything is going to indicate that this deal will go through. I think that Eric Garcia will be a Barcelona player. Eric Garcia does have a great possibility of being a Barcelona player next season. And it's so great to hear this, right? Because this is such a breath of fresh air for us Barcelona fans, because we are finally hearing reports of Barcelona strengthening their defense. And in the past recent weeks, we have heard that Barcelona are trying to get Depay, Lautaro Martinez, Wijnaldum, and many other attacking players, but we have never heard anything about the defense. But we are here, right? And I think that, yes, Eric Garcia does have his weaknesses. He is by no means a finished product. We are not getting a Van Dijk type of player, but this player does have untapped potential, and there's no way better to do that than to do it in Barcelona. A player who has been through the academy alongside his former teammate Ansu Fati. And it's going to be great to see Eric Garcia really compete for that spot alongside Araujo, and hopefully potentially even with Todibo. And I do want to make one last point here, right? I think that overall, seeing all of these transfers potentially being made, seeing that we're bidding for Wijnaldum for 18 million euros, seeing that we might also get Memphis Depay for 15 to 20 million euros, and then now hearing that Eric Garcia might come in for 15 to 18 million euros, these are amazing deals. This might go down as one of the best transfer windows we have had in a while. And so there is a lot to look forward to, a lot to be excited about, and hopefully Barcelona can get these deals done. And then moving on to the last section of today, and I quickly do want to talk about the training that was held a couple of hours ago. There was a group training where many players did appear, like Ricky Puig, Elenia, Dembele, Pedri, Moriba, Sergio Roberto, and many other players. There are players missing who are on international duties, like De Jong and Ansu Fati. And there are two players who did also train, but individually, and that was Lionel Messi and Felipe Coutinho. And it says here that it is official, Messi and Coutinho, who are currently doing individual work, will be joining the group for tomorrow. And it's going to be very relieving to see that Messi will be joining the group after seeing how Messi was trying to leave the club. I think that it's going to be great to see the young players, see their leader, see their captain join the training session tomorrow. And I also do assume that Trincao and Pedri are going to be very excited to see Messi enter that training session tomorrow, which will be the first time they do train with Lionel Messi. And as for Felipe Coutinho, it says here that the agents of Felipe Coutinho has confirmed that Koeman has called Coutinho right after the Champions League final, and he was told by Koeman that he was very much in his plans and wanted him to return. And that's great to hear. It's great to hear that Coutinho does have a purpose in this squad, and I can't wait to see just how Koeman is going to be using Felipe Coutinho in this starting 11. And like I said earlier, there's so much to be excited for, a lot to look forward to. We do have a friendly coming up in this weekend, and so this season cannot come soon enough. I cannot wait. And if you guys are new here, I will be making pre-match previews and post-match reviews for the league matches and overall just for this whole upcoming season. So that'll be it for today's Barcelona Daily News. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.